Welcome to the Football Fill-In, everybody. The title race is fully on. We all love to see it. We've also got a little bit of Kalvin Phillips chat, his tough start to life at West Ham. We break down the Kylian Mbappe free transfer to Arsenal or Real Madrid. We all know it's going to be Real Madrid, don't we? And we have a look at one of the worst tackles we have seen in years. It's a Football Fill-In. Come on. Right, we've got to start with Arsenal then, boys. Another convincing win, 5-0 against Burnley. Burnley are absolutely struggling, by the way. But Arsenal, genuine title contenders. I know you've kind of got your doubts about Arsenal, whether they'll be able to keep this up or not. But a 6-0 battering of West Ham last week and then 5-0 this week. They've got to be in the shout still.
Yeah, I think they've done fantastically well. I was worried about them at Christmas. I think at Anfield they were a bit lucky and they looked tired. And I think that because they were out of the Cup and then the January fixtures, they look refreshed. And I think this first start of the season, they were winning games 1, maybe 2-0. And now, I mean, they've just blasted their goal difference and they look a little bit like they started last season. They've got a real momentum, a real belief. I still think that Liverpool and Man City are better equipped because, funnily enough, I don't think they'll score enough goals, and yet they've scored 5 and 6. But you look at the fixture. I mean, look, what Arsenal have got to do is they've got to go to the Etihad and get a result. And if they go to the Etihad and get a result, they've got a great chance. I'm really pleased for Arteta because, again, he was getting a little bit more stick in January. And I think what Arsenal have done over the last 2 years is fantastic. I still think they're way ahead of schedule. And, I think they're well and truly in it. I wouldn't put them as favourites.
I think the reason why I love this league this season is there seems to be little mini leagues all over the shop. So the top 3, you've got a nice little mini league, which it might come down to their results against each other. Then you've got the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th between Man United, Aston Villa, Tottenham. And then even down at the bottom of the table, you've got the likes of the Everton, Palace getting drawn back into it. Those sort of teams for relegation.
For 10th for Chelsea.
Oh, I like it.
No, they've improved a bit.
Yeah. I like this. I think we always assume Arsenal are just going to fall short, don't we? We always just assume because we've been...
That might be a good thing.
We've been taught that in previous years. But is that right to think like that, Watto? Or should we genuinely be thinking, no, do you know what? Any one of those top 3 at this moment in time can win it.
I think any one of the top 3 can win it. I think they will have grown from the heartache of last year. I think, he's turned that feeling into a positive feeling for them, and I think that's the fuel that's driving them forward. Look, the Premier League is the toughest league in the world, and they've gone away and scored 11 goals without conceding. And we know that they're very good defence.
That's 21 goals in 5 league games this year.
The stats for that are incredible. But when the front of the team fires, and we still think they're missing a centre-forward, really, and they've scored 11 goals, I think they are the real deal. I'm maybe a little surprised that they didn't try and recruit someone to play up front in January. Always a difficult market for sure. But I think what that group have got is Arteta trusts them, and I think they know he trusts them. And somehow at the minute, they've got that momentum back. The pitfalls now are coming because they're entering the Champions League phase again. Can they cope with the game schedule? Do they get lucky with injuries, suspensions? But at the minute, they look like they've got everything in their favour. It's just whether the Champions League prevails them.
And I think as well, one of the big concerns is it happened last year. Are they going to catch Man City at the right time? Because they need to play them now, and they're not playing them for another 6 weeks. And in 6 weeks, is Saka fit? Is Rice fit? They've got to go to the Etihad. And I think timing might be really important because you mentioned the Champions League is going to be big because they could go really far in that. I looked at Europe last week and Bayern ain't good enough. I think it's Man City and Real Madrid, and then Arsenal probably 3rd favourites. So
Man City in 6 weeks' time as well would have probably just won their last 8 games in a row as well, and Arsenal will be playing them at a time, and everybody thinking, oh, for God's sake. So even going into that game, they'll be beaten. They'll be beaten in their heads, won't they? Bukayo Saka, that's 4 goals in 2 games for him now. What do you make of what Rio Ferdinand said about him last week, where he was asked the question about, is he world class? Comparing him to Phil Foden, is he world class? And he said, I don't think he is world-class yet.
I just completely disagree. I don't know where we say... I mean, look, what I will say in defence of Rio and anybody else is that I think world-class is a very subjective opinion. Some people have 30, 40 players that think they're world-class. Yeah. Some people define it as 2 or 3. For me, I think you've got 10 players that are world-class and maybe 1 or 2 more if you've got, because you might have just 10 attackers and you might say, well, that centre-back, that goalkeeper. But, since the Euros, Rashford, Sancho and Saka missed a penalty. And it impacted all those players in very different ways.
Yeah, good shout.
Saka, from that moment, didn't let it define him.
He got better.
And he became a leader, and he's been brilliant for a long period of time. He is the Salah of Arsenal. He carries that team. So if you look at his last 3 years, and then you look at how important he is to Arsenal, the goal contributions, the assists, I find it very difficult not to say he's world class. I don't understand the argument why he's not world class, because I don't know what more he can do other than go and play for Real Madrid and do it every week, or play for Man City. I mean, Arsenal shouldn't be where they are. He's their best player. I think they've got a great chance in the Champions League, and they're in a title race again. I think he's in the top 10 in the world.
I think it's a tough one. I get where he's coming from with it. I do think he's world class, but I want to see him do more in the big games, the real ones that matter. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're playing your Man Cities, when you're playing your Champions League quarterfinals, semi-finals, them games, and the games towards the end of the season where Arsenal need somebody to grab them by the scruff of the neck and lead them to wins. I want to see him be doing it then. It's great doing it against West Ham where they're in a bad run of form, and Burnley when they're bottom of the league and you're scoring 4 goals. But if you can do that relentlessly, that's when it's not even a question of a doubt. What do you think, Watto?
I think he's very, very close to it. But really, the world-class players for me are in teams that actually finally get over the line.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, of course, he's a big player within that team, and it's not his fault that they haven't got over the line. But I'm a bit like you. The bigger games, can he really deliver? Can he drag this team over the line like Foden's won Premier League titles after Premier League titles? I think Foden and him are slightly different players. I think Foden, when he comes in the middle of the field, has got so many more attributes than what a Saka would have, because he's predominantly staying more wide and attacking a fullback type player, where Foden can come inside, he can play at 10. But Saka's done unbelievable for Arsenal. But if they can become a winner and he can win things and get that next level of belief, then of course I think you'd be putting him in.
Yeah, I think like if you look at the likes of Man City, you've got Phil Foden who does it. You've got Kevin De Bruyne, you've got Mo Salah for Liverpool. They're the sort of players that will grab them by the scruff of the neck, won't they, and lead them over the line so that they win.
I think Saka's better than Foden.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I
think this is going to be interesting. I like this.
I do, because I think if you put Phil Foden in the Arsenal team, he replicates what Saka does. But if you put Saka in a Man City side, I think he's more important than Foden. I think Foden at the moment has been good this season, but they can do it without him. You put Saka on the wing and you play De Bruyne in that position, or Bernardo Silva. I think Saka is fundamental to Arsenal, who are in a title race, whereas I think Foden is very important to Man City, but replaceable. But if you put Saka on that wing for Man City, I think he becomes one of their best players.
Watto, give me your opinion. I need to think about this for a minute.
Yeah, this one's flummoxed you, hasn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I always think it's interesting when you compare a player in the team he's at now, and somehow if you can do the fantasy and put him in another team, for sure. I just think he's really integral for Arsenal. I think at City, Foden has just been ingrained in how Pep wants to play football. He can play out wide, he can play in the 10 position. For sure, there's a lot of players that can replace him there. Saka would be great in a Man City shirt. There's no denying it.
I think Pep would love him as well.
Because he's a proper player.
But I don't think Saka would start ahead of Foden for Man City.
I do.
But I don't think Foden would start ahead of Saka for Arsenal.
Good point.
Yeah, but that's because both of these players are ingrained in their clubs, and the managers at both clubs know their ultimate strength.
So here's the question then. For England, who's going to start on that right-hand side if you can only start one of them?
Saka.
I think he'll start Saka.
I think he'll start Saka, but should he start Saka?
Mic drop. There we go. Get in the chat, let us know.
Either way, this is surely building up to be one of the best title run-ins we've seen, maybe in history. I know it's the tightest one we've seen, I think in 10 years, but towards the end it's going to get real spicy, isn't it?
I just can't believe we were doing this last year. We were saying what a great Premier League season it was, and to top it, it's going that way.
Yeah.
I mean, to get Liverpool in the mix, you need a proper title race is 3 anyway, and we very rarely get that. And I think that Man City dropping points at Chelsea, every time Man City drop a point, it's brilliant for the title race. It's not good for Man City fans, but it's brilliant for the title race. So I think as long as Arsenal and Liverpool keep winning, I think, hopefully we can just stretch it out till April, and it's brilliant.
Quick bit of talk about Burnley. Struggling. 55 goals conceded so far this season. Joint bottom of the league with Sheffield United. They look a bit doomed, don't they? Really?
Yeah. it's a shame for them because they came up with a lot of euphoria and self-belief and a lot of talk about company, but this is the biggest challenge, and you can't concede that amount of goals and have any chance of surviving, to be honest.
Simple as that. You mentioned Man City dropping points at the weekend. One player in particular, I'm absolutely heartbroken, missed a couple... For him, anyway, a couple absolute doddles. I reckon you might have scored a couple of these, actually.
I would, yeah.
Haaland...
Yeah, but you can't edit with your eyes shut.
Yeah, it might come off his shoulder and go in or something, at least.
Ben, Jamie's got an FPL stat on Haaland.
Come on.
Do I?
You know, your triple captain one.
Oh, triple captain is the most triple captained ever in FPL history.
For Haaland?
Yeah, I think 1.4 million people.
I was one of them
him.
1.4 million.
Should have just captained him like me.
I was one of them 1.4 million that triple captained Haaland this week, and I'm watching the game. I'm like, goal, get it. No, over the bar.
He could score
over
6
the bar.
against
Over
Brentford,
the bar.
couldn't he?
He could do.
The way Brentford defend against Liverpool, he probably will.
One in the hand is better than two in the bush, you know. I'd rather have a goal already, okay? Is that the saying? I think that's the saying.
I hope so, because you're on very dangerous territory there. I shut my eyes for a minute.
I don't think that's a saying, Ben.
It is. A bird in the hand. I'm sure it is. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
I've never heard of it.
You said one in the hand.
Lads,
Well,
it's a saying. It's something like
It's
that.
close, mate.
it doesn't sound better than the second option, to be honest.
No, I think
Close
if we
enough,
go with
Dan.
it, this could be the new you, mate.
So Haaland, disappointing from him, really, wasn't it? Very uncharacteristic, very, very easy gilt-edged chances for somebody like a Haaland. And Man City, just in general, didn't really look at the races, did
They're
they?
off. I reckon they are off. I watched them against Everton, and I think if Everton, I thought Calvin was dreadful that day, and they had no attacking into. I think Everton defended brilliantly. You know, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, I thought they were really good, but they had nothing to hurt City, so you knew City were going to score.
Yeah.
Whereas Chelsea, they had a plan on the break. I thought they were really, really good on the break, and Man City just look a little bit off this season. They could still win the league. I mean, you know, you would have been at United when we won the league when it wasn't vintage.
Yeah.
They could still win the league, but I thought that. Yeah, I didn't think Man City were that good. But I think Chelsea deserved a point. My big concern in that game was I thought Pochettino went defensive way too early. Took all his attackers off with 70 minutes at 1-0 up, and I thought, you know...
He's thinking about winning the Carabao Cup next week, mate.
Pretty right as well.
A whole week off, and he's taking off Cole Palmer and everyone like that.
You've got to think, though, when you're away at the Etihad, mate, honestly...
But they had no... You can't sit there and park the bus, isn't it?
But you know though, that Man City, all they need is like one little glimmer, one little half chance, one thing where one player, one of those Chelsea defenders is out of position, and they will punish you. They are so incisive, aren't they, sometimes? Where did Chelsea get this performance from, Watto? Because they've been disappointing all season. Everybody's saying they've got these good players that just aren't performing. They go away to the Etihad, it's on telly, they all raise their game suddenly.
Yeah, they've built a bit of momentum, but it's funny in football and funny in dressing rooms in football, and you know that. I've got no idea about the inside of Chelsea's dressing room, but the Thiago Silva thing with his wife, talking about this with Pochettino, that with Pochettino. Pochettino is a great manager, and he's very, very close with his players. And I think somehow that's maybe turned its full circle. He's now out of the picture. Players are thinking, right, this guy is a good manager. Yeah. We want to play for this guy. We're better players than what we're showing. Yeah. They've grabbed a little bit of momentum. And in some ways, there's not many teams good to City. And Edison made 2 or 3 big saves in that game.
Yeah, he did.
They could have had 2 or 3 goals, and you're not normally talking about that kind of thing at the Etihad. I just think somehow something's changed and they've grabbed onto something because they played like individuals to me most of the time. Yeah. Pochettino set them up this time, obviously, to play counter-attack football because that's Man City pin you in anyway. But the tactics were right for the game. The players believed in the tactics and they executed the tactics.
Do you think it's a little bit of, we're on telly, we're playing against Man City, if we are not on our A game here and we give it 100%, we're going to be made to look like fools?
But also, I watched them play against Villa, and I was convinced Villa would win, and they wiped the floor with them. Yeah. And I just think some teams suit being the underdog when they can counter-attack. Counter-attacking football is very easy compared to possession football. And if you think about it, Chelsea tend to do well against big teams who are better than them, who they have to counter on. And look, I thought they defended brilliantly. I mean, I thought there was 2 brilliant centre-back performances this weekend. Yeah. Johnny Evans in the second half against Luton.
Agreed.
And Disasi was unbelievable. I've given him a lot of stick. I wasn't sure about him, but I tell you what, against Man City, that was the most dominating man of the match performance. And I love it when a centre-back or a goalkeeper gets man of the match because it's not so obvious, is it?
True that. We never get any love like the mark.
You've actually given Chelsea some praise. Centre-halves and goalies.
Unbelievable.
Going well
and Johnny Evans.
And Johnny Evans.
Scott McTominay next.
If I see it, I say it. Who's next?
McTominay.
Scott McTominay.
McTominay and Maguire, go on.
No, not this weekend.
But the big surprise for me were that all the chances, Haaland never really worked the goalie.
Yeah.
He made one save from a slight deflection, but the 2 headers and the left foot volley, which he's got to make the goalie make a save, but normally the headers, for him...
they're goals, aren't they?
The freebies, yeah.
I know they say goals win games, but they're goals. Quite literally they're goals, aren't they?
But
and that's a bit of a worry, at least. That's got to be a little bit of a worry. I think that's 2 goals now since his return from injury. I think 7 games ago.
Still top scorer, though, isn't
Still, obviously, absolutely ripping it. But that kind of lull is got to be a little bit of a concern.
It's still going to affect your confidence, whoever you are. Look, he's relentless. He's playing in the team that's going to create him the most chances.
Yeah.
So he knows at one point one of these is going to go in. But when you miss gilt-edged chances, that as a centre forward, that's always still going to affect you. He's lucky that he's in a team that's going to provide him with a lot more chances.
Yeah. I think I looked at it last season in the Premier League. He had 115 shots, and this season he's had about 68. So he's he's behind.
Way lower than what it was, yeah.
But when you've got Doku on the wing and you've got Foden on the wing, you're not getting quick ball into the box that you did with Mahrez and maybe De Bruyne wandering around. Doku was infuriating at the weekend. It reminds me of St Maximin at Newcastle. Fantastic player to watch, but I don't think he knows what he's going to do next.
Well, I remember us talking about Man City last season. We were saying the fact that people say Man City play this lovely football and stuff, but when you've got Mahrez, he will hit it first time into the box. Haaland will run off that. De Bruyne is the best one-touch ball straight into the box when it played back to him I've ever seen.
But that's the difference in the game, isn't it? If he's not sure when these 2 wide guys are going to cross it,
or what
it's hard for his movement.
Yeah.
But the most effective City ever are is De Bruyne coming into the quarterback position, little layoff, flick into the box first time. And that's what Brighton did, and I know I'm going on to a different game against Sheffield United yesterday. Wide players did really well, but they crossed the ball. If they didn't, he's in that quarterback position, ball's into the box, and bodies in the box, you're going to create mayhem.
That is something quick. We're going to move on to Liverpool in a minute because fantastic win for them. But if you could watch an overview of when that ball gets played back to Kevin De Bruyne, you watch. Obviously, the defence of the opposition team will try and push forward as quick as they can. But Erling Haaland at that point is going, I'll stay with you guys, and as soon as he's about to kick that, I know I can just make my move and run in there. And they'll work on it in training, and they'll have it to a T. He's the best I've ever seen at it. The best I've ever seen it. He'll put it in that corridor of uncertainty, won't he, Watto?
Disaster for a goal.
Disaster.
But Haaland's been shut out before. I mean, I remember Varane and Shaw doing it to him last year. I think Saliba did it, you know. If you defend well, Tarkowski and Branthwaite did well against him
proper
until
defenders,
he pushed him off. So he needs the delivery. And but he still should have scored a couple, shouldn't he?
Either way, it makes for exciting and for the season. That's what we want to say. Ben, Liverpool.
Ben, what do you make to, just quickly, Jack Grealish? We've got the Euros coming up.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jack Grealish? And is there a potential move in the summer? Is he going to play in the Euros? What do we think?
It all just depends on his injury, doesn't it, lads? It's unfortunate for him. He went off. I watched him. It was against Copenhagen last week. As soon as he did it, you knew he had done something. You knew he had done something. The fact that he tried to get up and carry on playing, I'm thinking, what are you doing, mate? Don't even bother. You know what I mean?
Accept your fate.
Accept your fate. Get off the pitch. Yeah, that'll do. So it depends how bad it is. If it's a hamstring strain, which it looks like it might be, could be a month, could be 6 weeks. You just want to get it right, basically. But we've got 13 games left of the season.
He's not playing anyway, is he?
He's not playing week in, week out.
I'd play Grealish over Doku, but I'm not Pep Guardiola. I mean, I don't understand why Bernardo Silva's on the bench either. I mean, some of his selections are just odd, but Grealish needs to move. Well, I said it before. I thought he was brilliant last season. First season wasn't in the team. Now he's not in the season. That's 2 out of 3 not in the team. £100 million player. I think he's a PR signing. I thought it at the time. I think he's a PR signing. I don't get it. I really don't. I think he's a really good player who doesn't suit Man City.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that. That's good.
And he should be starting for England because Rashford's going to go to the Euros because he offers something different. Jack Grealish should be starting for England.
Jack Grealish could play for another team and be an absolute world beater, couldn't he? He could be an absolute world beater.
United, he'd be good at... You know, I mean, I know Arsenal have got Martinelli, but no, he should be starting. But he's a really good player.
Yeah,
and
he is.
Been wasted, I think.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with him in the summer then. But get well soon, first and foremost, actually. We want to see you back on the pitch. Yeah, Liverpool, lads, another convincing win for them. They just seem to be on a bit of a steamrolling mission at the minute, Liverpool. Nobody's really talking about them, but they just get the job done. They're getting the job done. But marred by a couple big injuries at the weekend as well. Darwin Núñez, Jota and Curtis Jones having to come off injured, which is a massive blow for them. We don't know the extent of those injuries yet. But again, they're impressive, aren't they? Just get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I think they play proper football. They can play you through the thirds. But if you, as Brentford did, set piece, I always felt playing Liverpool or the top teams, it's the most vulnerable you feel. It's your set piece. It's a deep free kick. Brentford obviously work on whatever they work on. Obviously, a lot of set pieces in the game. They push everybody forward. It drops down on the edge of the box. One big clearance. I mean, Jota's header's phenomenal. But Núñez, you're not quite sure, have you? But what a finish. Honestly, you would have thought he's already scored 30 goals to put it in like that.
I had him
Especially when
down.
he's got the sweaty pass to Jota. If he misses that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had him down as missing that chance. When he goes through one-on-one, I'm thinking, you've got too much time here, mate. You've got too much time.
But you're not thinking that finish is a goalie. And I think that's why he does him. Because you're thinking, this guy's missed so many chances. He's going to go round me. He's going to play a side foot. And he dinks him. It's unbelievable. But that just shows you the belief he's got in himself as well. Yeah. And what we spoke about Haaland, you can miss. You've just got to believe it. Yeah. And it was a phenomenal finish. But I think they're really going to struggle. Obviously, with the Jota one, it's so innocuous. He just lands on him, but his knee's in that position, it just bounces.
I know.
So you're not quite sure with that. The one positive for Liverpool, Salah comes on. Fantastic assist to McAllister.
Just same as usual, really.
Scores his goal.
Yeah.
So that gives them that,
a bit
replacement.
Of a boost, at least,
yeah, but they can't lose 3 players in a game like that and survive it. Obviously, Alisson missing in goal.
What do you make of Kelleher? Because I think he is, as far as number 2s go, when Alisson doesn't play, I'm not necessarily worried about Liverpool because I think he is such a good number 2.
Yeah, I mean, he made a fantastic save before the goal, didn't he?
Yeah, full time goal, yeah.
Oof, it's a great reaction
Strong
save.
hand.
He plays the ball through, I think, for the third
yeah,
or the fourth
the fourth one. Again, though, it's a flick on. It's a flick on and Gakpo's through. It's criminal, isn't it, really?
Well, you think Brentford's suicide. They're just going 3 for 3 and they're already exposed, if you like. But no, I think Keller, he's got the range to play in goal for Liverpool for sure. You have to say that I think Alisson is maybe the best, you know what I mean? I know I put Vicario in goal when we did the half team, but he made some phenomenal saves at the weekend again. But really, over a period of time and consistency, Alisson's the best. Yeah. So it's always going to be difficult for him because there has to be a certain level of drop-off. But they don't seem to fear not having Alisson in goal, which is a real big compliment to him.
Carabao Cup final next week, Mark. What we saying? Predictions?
You know what? I think Chelsea might get something out of it. I think it's because we've just seen them what they've done at Man City, haven't they? And with the injuries that Liverpool have got, I think Liverpool are almost in the position at the moment where if they were just focusing on the league, they'd probably have a great chance of winning it. But they're still in the Carabao Cup. Yeah. Obviously, they've got the FA Cup, they've
Champions
got
League.
Whatever they're doing on a Thursday night, Europa League, innit?
Oh, they're Europa League, aren't they?
Yeah. And I just think they're in too many tournaments, and they've got I've got no sympathy for Liverpool having injuries because it's been massive for Brighton, United, Newcastle. But I have got sympathy for them in the title race because out of the title race contenders, they're decimated. They've got so many injuries. I forgot Szoboszlai even played for them. Just looking at that, so I mean Jota as well. He was almost becoming Liverpool's Gundogan of last year, where he just found this form. So. But it's Klopp's last year, so maybe that can...
Score prediction?
What, for the Carabao Cup? I think it'll go extra time.
But they've got a game midweek, Liverpool. They've got Luton. So
I'm going Chelsea, actually.
It's really difficult for him. Pochettino's never won a trophy in England. Has he?
He's won the Farmers League, hasn't he? He's won the French League.
Yeah, well, I'll not be as disrespectful as you, but I'll go with it. So I think it's a bigger game for Chelsea than it is for Liverpool, but every team wants to win silverware.
Of course, yeah.
When we talked about the tactics of the game, so if Chelsea play how they did against City, that'll bring Liverpool onto them, but Liverpool don't always want to play that way either. Because they want to play on the transition and the quick counters. So it'd be interesting to see how both managers play. Obviously, Liverpool have got a few injuries. And as I said, they're going into a midweek fixture, I think, on Wednesday, home to Luton, which is a game when we're talking about the title race, they have to win that game. And then their preparation time, really, Thursday will be recovery, Friday, second day recovery. He's got Saturday to pick his team, do a bit of training, and away we go, boys.
Training travel. We're going to talk about your boys, Man United, in a minute. Good win for them, by the way.
Ben, could we get your predictions on the Carabao Cup final? Score. Please.
I'm going to throw a cheeky little 2-2 draw, penalties, Liverpool win.
There you go. Kelleher the hero then.
Kelleher the hero. Everybody wants to win a cup, by the way. And there was only 2 teams last year that won a cup from England. Who were they?
West Ham and Man City.
Who?
Man City.
You said it with eyes shut, mate.
I don't know what I was saying. Because I don't like saying Man City. I had to force it out.
Man City. Yeah, correct. West Ham and Man City. Well done. Man United. Mark. This was a good win. This was a difficult place to go. I actually really enjoyed this game. It was a bit sort of end to end at time. Lots of chances.
Stressful.
It was stressful, yeah. But Man United got the job done, and that's what they're doing at the minute. Earlier in the season, they weren't getting the job done, but now everything seems to be happy and smiles on people's faces.
It's just ridiculous how football is viewed and funny in a way, because it's like, oh, it's only Luton. Luton had 58% possession. Luton had loads of chances. And I'm like, I literally did a preview on the United stand saying this game will be tight. It'll be 1-0, it'll be 2-1. They beat Newcastle there.
Yeah.
They had 50% possession.
They've had some
James's
unbelievable
Park.
results at Kenilworth Road, Luton.
4-3 against Arsenal there. They drew with Liverpool there.
Liverpool,
they beat
narrowly
Newcastle there.
Narrowly lost to Man
They're
City.
not Brentford, who are happy to give 70% of the ball away. They actually do try to get on the ball, as we saw yesterday. So put some bloody respect on Luton. I think that, that they are a decent team. But having said all of that, it wasn't a lucky escape. United, I thought Luton would equalise at the end, and I was ready to go. We've missed so many chances to put this game to bed. Garnacho one-on-one, Bruno one-on-one,
Yeah.
Bruno shot in the box, Rashford shot.
Shots getting dragged wide.
Hojlund had another chance. We had the better chances, and their chance really came from what we were doing all game, which is people say Luton had loads of shots, but they were all blocked.
Yeah.
I can't think of a clear-cut chance.
We did United stand earlier. Basically, if you look at it on the balance of it, a lot of people say Luton are unlucky, but if you look at it, Man United should have scored 6 goals. Luton should have scored 2 or 3. It's as simple as that. They should have scored that, and Man United should have. So Man United probably deserved to win it, but it's the usual, really. Is the kind of everyone will root for the underdog. People don't like Man United, so it's like, oh, they were lucky again, but they weren't, were they? They seem like they've got a bit of momentum now as well.
Man United started the game really well and could have gone well beyond the 2 that they got. But if you look at it and the levels we're talking about. Like, I'm watching the game. I really enjoyed it. It was a good Sunday afternoon watch, to be honest with you. And that's what Kenilworth Road does for them. But I'm watching the game. The first opportunity, Oshu is side by side with Hojlund. He looks at him and he knows he can't catch him. And he's in the middle of Man United's own half. Just barge him, stand in front of him, do something. Yeah. As soon as you left it for a foot race, yes, nobody knew that Bell were going to make an arse of it to the goalie. But Hojlund shouldn't have been in the picture. Just deal with it there. Deal with it there, and whatever happens up that end, we're going to do it. So the one down after 37 seconds. Man United really on the front foot. Corner. Luton set-up. Man United take advantage of their set-up, ring the edge of the box with 3 players. That means you're in charge when the ball comes out if you don't win the first contact. Yes, it's an unbelievable finish. But the box is clear, free shot, and Hojlund does what he does. And you're thinking, oh my God. And it could have been 3, 4 or 5 at that point. And the one question I want to ask you is, because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, I don't understand this. They allow, I can't remember who it was, turned in the box, got a deflection. But when that ball loops up, Morris cannot be favourite. If you'd have been in goals for me at that time, and you'd have just done a little starfish and Morris never takes his eye off the ball, goal, he should have seen your yellow shirt come in and you're going to kill him. And he's going to go like that and he's not going to head it in. Yeah. What would you have done in goal at that point?
First and foremost, he's not on the front foot. He's not anticipating anything like that to come out and try and sweep up or clean up or anything. He's flat-footed, so when the ball comes up, it takes him a little while to get going in the first instance. But when you're on your way out to that ball, you have to make sure that striker sees you. He's wearing a yellow shirt, for Christ's sake, it's visible. But you have to, one, either get the ball, or two, sorry, but you're taking the player out at the same time. You are making sure he sees you coming. It will put enough doubt in his mind to think, I'm going to get absolutely battered here.
But if he sees you flying, like what you're talking about, he just does something, and that ball don't end up in the goal.
No chance.
Now, you're risking a penalty.
You're risking a penalty, but
you've got to do something.
By just doing a little butterfly, it's a goal. Yeah, you've got to get very lucky. But you've got to go direct to the source, Watto. Go direct to the ball. He's gone out, sort of flat, like that. get your arms in front of you and go out, try and punch it, try and whatever. It's a bit more dangerous, and you've got to be braver because you're putting your face and your head in the way, basically. But if that guy sees you with your fist running towards the ball like that, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, he will shit himself and he will either not even go for the ball or he'll just turn away from it like that and it won't go in the back of the net. That's what you've got to do. You've got to go direct to the source of the ball, haven't you? You'd have gone mad at me if that was me.
Of course.
You'd have gone absolutely
I just
mad
like
at me.
doing that kind of thing to you.
Yeah, I know, damn right as well.
But I think you would have reacted differently.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
it's too easy to allow that to happen in that manner. And Man United did well to survive it, like you said, because Luton had some momentum then, and it's a tough place. But on another day, 5 or 6 goals for sure.
You know, when Garnacho went through, 1-on-1 at the end, honestly, did you think he was going to score?
Yeah, I did. I think he should score.
I
think Bruno should score as well. I think both of those, again, I would have scored both Haaland's headers and I would have scored both these one-on-ones. I need the wind bite behind me so I didn't get
Tell
caught,
me what you'd have done on the Fernandes thing, because when he boots when he
He's got
boots the
3.
ball into the side, advertising boards, I think it was pure frustration because the goalie's in no man's land because he's playing high. As soon as he goes past him,
it's a great block-up.
But a player of visibility, it's just got
it's a little chip or something
and
like
it's
that.
in.
Yeah.
And I think he was so frustrated because even though the guy's done everything he can, a player of visibility, you only need to get it 2 yards in there. It's a goal.
He can take it first time and dink the keeper. He takes a touch and he can dink the keeper.
Yeah. And
then when he's past the keeper, he can dink it into the net. And he just, it can happen. And we see it happen, but it shouldn't happen twice in a game.
No.
And also, when Garnacho's gone round him, he can just square it to Bruno, who's going to put it in the bottom corner as well.
No chance he's thinking of anything like that.
This is the trouble with United's attackers. They're so bloody selfish.
Yeah.
But you get the body language of them as well, because Bruno were really annoyed at Garnacho when he didn't square it. But then late on in the game when he intercepts the goalie's pass,
Bruno
he could have squared it.
They're all
but they all seem to be at each other, where
I know.
normally, like, the body language has got to be positive, even though it's a bad decision. You've got to get over the line. And in the end, they got over the line. They were lucky on the set piece, but it's a good corner, and Barkley gets a good contact, doesn't he?
He does.
On another date.
What about the Rasmus goal? Do you think he meant it?
Yes.
100%.
100%.
You can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
And he's playing at a level.
Anyone says he didn't.
No, he meant it, 1,000,000%.
They do that in training all the time.
Yeah,
That's a
for sure.
classic goal for a pro in training, isn't it? They do this with their body all the time.
No,
do it
I
with
like
the shoulders as well.
The thing is, if that was a defender there and the ball was going straight into the back of the net, he would have probably done that to try and move out the way because he'd been scared of it. Well, not in the face. Don't hit me in the face. Imagine that, a ball hit me in the face. That'd be a nightmare, that, wouldn't it? We've got to talk about Kalvin Phillips at West Ham. Just pure negativity surrounding West Ham at this moment in time. It's a disappointing result against Forest 2-0. But Kalvin Phillips is not having a great start to life at West Ham, is he? It was seen as kind of the springboard to him getting in the Euro squad in the summer, a chance to finally get out and play some first-team football in the Premier League. And as it stands so far, I think he's played 3 or 4 games. He's given a couple goals away and then the red card on Saturday. But for a player like him, Watto, an experienced player, you can't get a red card in the manner in which he did.
No, I think it was supposed to be the catalyst for him, West Ham and David Moyes, because they've been in that kind of rut. Obviously, the ball got nicked off him and conceded a goal early on. The first yellow card, the shove and that, it's just petulance, isn't it? The second one, it's a late tackle. But if you go back to the game we've just discussed, that's just refereeing on the day, because Casemiro could have easily had that second yellow card for exactly the same late moment. One referee one week says, do you know what, you're on a yellow, I'm going to give you a chance. The referee for Phillips, he's had his yellow, and he knows it's a soft yellow. Should he give him another chance? I think probably so. But is it a foul? And if it had been his first yellow, it's a yellow. It's refereeing on the day. But when you've done what you've done as Phillips, you can't do it. Everything seems to be against you. Everything seems to be against West Ham. Everything seems to be against Moyes. He doesn't look anywhere near a player that should at the minute be getting on the plane to travel with England.
Yeah. What do you make of David Moyes? Do you think he's on the brink, or do you think it's just blown completely out of proportion?
I think it's ridiculous that he's on the brink, but there seems to be a bit of a fan movement that was there last year, to be fair, and then he won the Conference League. But they're in the top half of the table. They're still in the Europa League. He's won a tournament, and they've got a team that's set up to play the way David Moyes plays.
Yeah.
They're not the richest club in the Premier League. So if you sack him, you're going down the league, and you've not got the money to build the team you want to build. I mean, I get it. I mean, look, I've had Moyes manage Man United, and it's not pretty. And West Ham do have a tradition that they want to play good football. But I think that looking to sack him, I think West Ham, you're going to drop down the league to play better football.
I think it's ridiculous.
That's going to happen. You're not going to be. Look at the teams that they're ahead of or around.
Yeah.
Brighton's, Newcastle's, Chelsea's. I mean, I'd expect them to be above West Ham. I'd put West Ham 11th or 12th.
Yeah, without doubt. They're overachieving.
Yeah.
They're overachieving for where they are.
But if you bring in the fancy manager, whoever that may be, and you're going to play expansive football, you're going to play out from a goal kick, you're going to build through the thirds and all that, then this is a 2 or 3 window project to get rid of Moyes.
Without doubt,
and recruit the players that you're then going to talk about.
To fit that system.
Yeah, West Ham have done unbelievable. And I always get to this point when fans are wanting a manager out, be very careful what you ask for, because it's very easy that they drop right down the level.
Well, it's the same at United. Like, there's a lot. Even yesterday, I was getting furious because people were still going, "Oh, I don't like this football. Get rid of him." And I'm like, "So we're going to sack a manager? What happens to Hojlund and Mainu and Garnacho, with 3 young players? The next manager might not fancy young players."
I know.
And same with West Ham. You bring this manager in, and you start playing out from the back, and then you're down in 14th, 15th, and you go, "We should have stuck with what it was." I don't mind fans having an opinion if they're going to stick with it, but they won't.
I guarantee you, when you've played 3 or 4 short passes
and they're on you
stadium, and the opposition are saying, "Here, we're pressing at West Ham today, boys," the fans are going, "Let's get it up there." Where's Soucek gone?
Yeah,
Where's he gone?
Where's David? Can we have David Moyes back, please?
Prowse on set pieces.
We're talking about James Ward-Prowse. Go back to the Kalvin Phillips conundrum. I'm sure Gareth Southgate would have been watching it at the weekend, sort of pulling his hair out a little bit. If he doesn't recapture that form that we know he's capable of, his England starting form, what is going to happen in the Euros in the summer then? Because we need another guy to be stood alongside Declan Rice, don't we?
He shouldn't be going anyway. I mean, he's been at West Ham. He's been at Man City for 2 years, so he's not played football really for 2 years. He shouldn't be going. It's not the way. You should not be selected for an England team on nepotism and favouritism. He shouldn't go.
Nepotism.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't be going. He's not good enough. He doesn't deserve to go. Just because he's played well 2 or 3 years ago and Gareth likes him, no, not good enough for me. Conor Gallagher's been fantastic this year. Take him. Henderson's playing for Ajax. I don't agree with it, but take him. And then, you could put Trent in there. You could take Ward-Prowse, who's been brilliant at West Ham.
What's the answer then? What is the answer? I understand the take him, and that's great, but we're talking about Euros here. We're talking about starting in big, high-pressure situations.
Start him, he's crap.
But who are we going to start then?
So
Conor Gallagher.
Is the answer then that you change your system to try and accommodate the better players? So in the generations past, you had Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes.
Yeah.
3 unbelievable midfield players. One of them had to suffer. If we think England are going to play 4-2-3-1 and we're saying we need a second sitter there next to Rice, does he change and say, no, I'm going to play 4-3-3, I'm going to play 1 here, and I'm going to play 2 8s, 10s, 9s.
Oh, that'd be the dream.
I don't think we need 2 to sit, though. We're England. I don't think we do. Declan Rice sits.
Declan Rice is one of the best sitters that you're going to get to sit
If he believes he
there.
can patrol and protect them 2 centre-halves, then maybe you become more expansive.
Rice, Bellingham, and then you've got a world of answers because you've got Maddison, you've got Foden, you've got
Saka, you got all them.
Cole Palmer can play there. So actually, you don't need to take Kalvin Phillips anyway. I think Conor Gallagher is more than... is 10 times the better Kalvin.
Conor Gallagher ran 13 kilometres in the game against Man
In his
City.
interview after the game, he looked like he'd run 23.
He didn't know. He
I'm
didn't
tired
know.
here. But it's nice to see a footballer coming off tired,
I know.
and his team's just managed to drag a point.
You don't
out of the
understand
game.
how important 13 kilometres is. Like, once you finish a game, right, you all get on the bus, okay, especially away games, and straight away, all the sports guys, the analytics guys,
the stats
manager, they've got all the stats, and all the players want to know who's run, who's done what, and high intensity stuff is massive as well, because that's where you can start to look at it. So you all get them sent through on your phone straight away. You'll have all your stats and stuff, and you're looking through them going, he didn't even run today. Look at that. He's done nothing today. No high intensity, whatever. 13 kilometres. I don't think I've really seen a 13 kilometre before.
It's very rare.
Very rare, isn't it? I know the games are going on longer now. You're getting 6-7 minutes at the end of each half.
I think
but
it's a rarity in the game. And I think the one thing I used to think on the bus is, because when I'm sat close to the manager and I'm thinking he's looking at this, what I'm looking at, but you players are then looking at yours, and you're thinking whoever X, Y or Z is, when he's not, he's not run so far and there's not too much intensity in there, and the manager's there, and I'm in the manager's earshot. What the And you know what's coming. But the information's virtually straight there for you. You know what I mean?
It's brilliant, isn't it? There's no hiding place nowadays, you know. There's no hiding place
place.
nowadays. There's no. Before we go to the quiz, Kylian Mbappe, obviously leaving PSG in the summer. He was actually put on the bench at the weekend, by the way, because I think he's come out and said something and the club aren't happy with it. Where's he going to go? Is he going to come to the Premier League, or is this all just a massive pipe dream and we all know he's going to go to Real Madrid?
I'm somewhat confused by this because I always thought he was going to Real Madrid, and I'm sure I've read he's going to Real Madrid.
I think he said I'm going to Real Madrid.
I think Real Madrid have signed him, and I think he's done the shirt holding up. I don't get it, but I think Klopp put it best when he was asked about Liverpool, and he said, "Look, I'm not here next year, but as far as I'm aware, we ain't got the money to do that, and I don't think any club in this league has." And Pep's never going to go near a player like that because it doesn't suit the way he wants to go. So it has to be Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle.
You're not mentioning Man U in that, no?
Well, I don't. Thankfully, I don't think it's going to be part of what Man United want to do anymore, which I'm grateful for. And it's the same reason Pep wouldn't do it as well. Mbappe is a huge wage break. He's a wage breaker, isn't he? He's a wage breaker.
He becomes bigger than the rest of the team in the club. And Arteta's not having him. I know Klopp's leaving, but Klopp wouldn't have him.
Yeah, true.
Guardiola, they're a team.
Yeah.
You can't have that one individual take everything. Real Madrid,
perfect for him.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
A lot of them
he's the
players.
best player in the world. I think he's the best.
The
player in the
Galactico superstar. That is what they're designed.
Can I just break down a bit of a myth of a free transfer as well? Because everybody's saying, why wouldn't you sign him? He's on a free transfer. Right, so let me just explain how this free transfer...
I hope you can really explain how this one's going to work.
This one goes in his pocket, doesn't
This one is going to be ridiculously expensive. So first of all, let's just talk about the wages, yeah? Whoever's signing him, because what he'll say is, you're not paying a transfer fee for me, so you will pay me in wages instead. So you're talking $750,000 a week, basically. You will be. You'll be talking 750, getting on for $1 million a week, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the starter.
The conversation's not starting unless it's half a million.
That's the starter,
sure.
yeah? Then you're going to pencil all the bonuses in, or I'm going to stay for 3 years, 4 years. You'll be getting the amount of money they're going to have to pay in bonuses to this guy is going to be phenomenal. But then also his agent, right? His agent is going to say to Real Madrid, right? We can take Kylian, our boy Kylian. We can take him to Arsenal. We can take him to Man City. We can take him to Newcastle, the richest clubs in the world, or we could bring him to you, right? But what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do for me as an agent for bringing him to you? I want 50 mil. I want 50 mil for bringing him to you here. That's exactly what will happen. I promise you. It might not be 50, it might be 40, it might be 30. Either way, you're not getting him for free, all right? This is a ridiculously expensive transfer.
It's like the Erling Haaland deal. Man City fans think they got him for 65
No
million.
chance.
His dad had a slice.
Somebody's getting a lot of money somewhere.
And he was a Riola client at the time.
Yeah.
So, there's huge amounts of money behind the scenes there. And that's going to destroy a Man City, a Liverpool, and Arsenal wage bill.
FFP.
Because you've got this one player. And straight away, like Watto says, he walks in. You might put up with it, but he's still the big star of the dressing room, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's bigger than the manager.
I think Real Madrid is the only place where he can be kept like that. The focus, the intensity of him being such a big star could be kept under control a little bit because you have got other big stars there, massive stars.
But I think it's the only place he can go because obviously there's a lot of highlighting of the rules in England now.
Yeah.
Man City is still under investigation. Everton have just been done points. Forest potentially been done points. You're not going to be able to hide the amount of money that's coming in there and think that you're going to get away with it. So I think his choices are very, very limited to probably one because Barcelona can't have him either.
It doesn't win you the Champions League anymore. Teams win Champions Leagues now.
Well, that's my take.
You put Mbappe in the Real Madrid, doesn't mean they're going to win it.
Just quickly though, just imagine he did sign for the Premier League. Yeah, he signed for Arsenal. Would he rip it up? Would he tear it up?
Within reason, I don't think I think he's the best player in the world, but I don't think he's not Messi, he's not Ronaldo. You drop them into a Man United as we had with Ronaldo, and it becomes like unbelievable. I don't think Mbappe drops into Arsenal and
wins them the league.
Wins
I'd
every
like to
game.
see what Emery did for his Villarreal line if they were playing against.
Oh, wow. He would be licking his lips every day. Who did that celebration? Michael Owen. He'd be just doing that. He'd just be running around constantly doing that. Goal, goal, goal. Quiz time, lads.
It's good.
Lads,
good?
just a quick one, just before you go there.
Okay.
Mason Holgate's challenge, the red card.
Oh, yeah, we've got to talk about this. Sorry, we are going to the quiz in a minute. We have to talk about this Mason Holgate tackle on Matoma, right? Jamie Redknapp actually said it best. He said, this is one of the worst tackle I've seen in years. And I went, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's one of the worst I've seen in years. And one of the Sheffield United players did an interview after the game as well, and they asked him about the red card, and he said, I can't believe what I saw. I can't believe that he's given a red card for that. Watching it on the pitch, never a red card. It's ridiculous. And then you watch the replay.
What worried me is that the ref actually give a yellow card.
Yeah,
Because when I saw it,
Wow.
the only positive out of this is that Matoma got up and played unbelievable
Miracle. It's a
football.
miracle.
A miracle, seriously. He's dribbling with the ball on the floor and he's got taken out on his kneecap, 2 feet off. It is a tackle that should never, ever have existed 30, 40 years ago.
Do you know what tackle
It's
it
a
was?
career ender.
He's tried to win the ball and
hurt him
clean
back.
the player.
He's tried to hurt him back.
Yeah, he's tried to win the ball and empty the player out, completely clean.
It's a head gone, isn't it? You can't do it.
It's kind of a freebie. It's what they call a freebie in football sometimes. It's like, I'm going to take the player out, but I'm going to win the ball first so I can get away with it. You can still get sent off for that nowadays.
But you know, in professional football now, like, the game has changed. You've got VAR. He's never getting away with it. And we've tried to take this thing out of it so the more expansive players can have a chance to play rather than being taken out waist high. And I just think the FA should look at that. And I know there'll not be more than a 3-game ban, but that's when you see something like that. And he's been very lucky he's not had a career-ending injury.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you have to say to the player, look, mate, that just can't be. We're going to have to put a real sanction on it.
It was a painful watch, Sheffield United. It was a painful watch because obviously that red card, it kills them anyway. But Brighton are a very good team. They can exploit the extra space so easily as well. And they're scoring own goals. The balls are from set. It was just so easy. It was so easy with Brighton. But you could just tell Sheffield United, they're gone. They are absolutely gone.
They need the season to finish now.
Yeah.
And I actually fear for what happens next for them because they just don't seem to have a formula to do anything to stop the rot, to be honest with you.
They played well against Luton, and then their lifeline is home against Brighton. You've got to go and win because Luton beat Brighton 4-0, didn't they? And, Holgate, it was a 0-0 when that happened, wasn't it? So that tackle, not only is it a bad tackle, it's also, as a Sheffield United fan, you've got to be fuming.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
Game
a
done.
selfish head-gone moment that's killed your team.
65 goals conceded for Sheffield United now so far this season. Can you imagine letting in that many goals, at this time of the season?
No, I can remember letting 4 less, so I'm just delighted.
Yeah, let me just remind everyone, Watto was in goal for Barnsley back in the day, weren't you, mate? And you had let in 61 at this point in the season.
Yeah, I'd missed a couple of games because I got knocked out. I don't think they let many in, actually.
Right, quiz, we good to go?
Yeah. Good to go.
Let's go then, lads. Come on. Right, it is a football filling quiz. We all love it. Jamie, you ready?
Of course, we're ready. Ready?
Yeah.
Question 1. Brazil beat which country 2-0 in the 2002 World Cup
Italy.
final? No, not Italy.
Turkey.
No, not Turkey.
Turkey? In a World Cup final?
They got to the semi-finals. Yeah.
Still the wrong answer. No, you can't
No,
count
if
down.
you're talking, deflecting questions, 5.
Can you ask me the
4,
question again, please?
3.
Brazil beat which country 2-0 in the 2002 World Cup final?
2002.
4,
3,
3.
2.
Argentina.
No.
Japan.
Germany.
I was going to say Germany straight away.
And Turkey got to the semis.
Because you lot got in my head, Turkey.
They got to the semis.
You were thinking about your Christmas dinner, pal.
Question 2. What player did Cristiano Ronaldo replace as number 7 at Juventus in 2028? What the hell? 2018.
You best, what, number 7?
Morata.
Number 7. No.
I honestly couldn't name you one Juventus player.
5.
5.
3.
Somebody beginning with V or
1.
Verratti.
Quadrado.
Close to V, wasn't it?
Never.
Right, good start.
It's a tough question.
0-0. Question 3. Who won the manager of the season in the Premier League in 2011-12 season but didn't win the league?
Mourinho.
No.
I would say it has got to be...
Who won manager of the season in the 2011-12 Premier League season?
I'd say
Didn't win the
Ancelotti.
league. No.
Benitez.
No.
I'm going to say Pardew.
Alan Pardew. Yeah.
What?
You've already...
He doesn't get a point for that, does he?
I should get a point for that.
No, you shouldn't. You've
should
had
get
plenty
one.
of time to reassess.
Pardiola.
Pardiola, yeah.
Do the dance. You
Do the
remember
dance in the FA Cup fight. Oh,
You'd never shut up about that, would you, if you were Pardew?
He didn't. He doesn't.
replace some good players that year, Newcastle did.
These questions, mate. Bloody hell.
Sorry.
Are these Tom's questions or yours?
No, these are Jamie's.
Oh, here we go.
mine are coming up in a minute.
All right, will we get yours?
You'll know mine was.
Okay, come on.
Brilliant. Question 4. Player career path.
You're good at these.
I have played for Internacional, Roma, Liverpool. That's it. Internacional, Roma, Liverpool.
Alisson.
Alisson is the correct answer.
Very good.
I didn't know he was at Inter.
I didn't know he was at Inter.
Is that the Argentinian one?
Yes.
Oh, right. I thought. Yeah,
I
okay,
did think Inter.
Yeah.
Should have put on my Argentinian accent.
I thought
I'd
you
like to hear that.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
just do that.
That's what?
That's not a language. That's just, it's
Well,
just
like
a
that.
thing.
You said Italian accent.
It's an Argentinian accent.
Oh, did you? Never mind.
Still
They do that as well,
You
though.
still got to speak, though.
Okay.
Question 5. There are 2 goalkeepers this season that share the most clean sheets in the Premier League. Can you name?
Alisson.
No, you're both wrong. No.
Oh, it's easy. Easy.
I'll say the question again. There are 2 goalkeepers this season that share the most clean sheets in the Premier League. Can you name one of them?
I know. I wish I took my time on this.
5.
What? Jamie.
3.
Raya.
Right is the correct answer.
Pickford, innit?
Pickford, the other one. They both got 8.
Pickford.
Took your time there.
Why did I say Onana? Bloody idiot. No. I don't think he's had... Well,
He's had one,
He had a
hasn't he?
few at the start, but yeah.
He's had
Like
one.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Fair dues.
Question 6. 0-1-1. 4 Manchester United players have won the European Footballer of the Year award.
Bobby
Can you
Charlton.
name one of them?
Ronaldo.
Bobby Charlton is the correct answer. Ronaldo was the other one as well, yeah.
I'm sorry, Watson. I'm being very disrespectful. I didn't take your answer.
I know, yeah.
It's all right.
dancing all
No,
day.
I'm surprised I got
You're
one
giving him
again.
the answers. You're giving him the answers. It's literally on the book in front of him. That's the only reason why you got that as well.
I hadn't even looked at that one.
Other ones, Dennis Law, George
Yeah.
Best.
Yeah, correct.
What's
yeah.
the score, Jay?
It is 1-1-1, all even.
Come on then.
Can't you read either then?
No.
All right, mate.
The glare.
Oh, the glare.
1-1-1-1. Question 7.
7.
7.
Finally.
Norwich and Ipswich share what word in the name of their ground?
Town.
No,
Road.
It's road.
Why are you
Road.
grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me?
Norwich Town.
Carrow Road
name the
and
stadium.
Portman Road Stadium. It's a stadium name.
Stadium name.
What? I was winning.
I know.
2-1-1.
You're lucky I'm not here every week, pal.
Question 8. Manager career path.
Ooh, this is your favourite.
I have managed Leeds, Carnegie, Ostersund, Swansea, Brighton,
Potter.
Chelsea.
Oh, if you'd have pointed to him then, I would have snapped that then.
Graham
All
Park,
right.
correct answer.
I knew it, I just couldn't get it out.
2-2-1.
1.
How many's left?
2 questions left. Question 9. Bit of a different one today. It's a who am I question.
Okay.
This is Tom's.
Yeah, it is Tom's. I share the same name as my dad. I played 100
Gary Neville.
times for England. No, not Gary Neville. And I'm the only midfielder to be in the Premier League 100 club.
Jamie Redknapp.
No.
Can you give us all another chance?
No, we're out. We're out.
Potentially.
He's not had a go yet.
Potentially, if Watto.
Are we
So
allowed
what
another
was
go?
it? Same name as your dad?
Same name as his dad, played 106 times for England and the only midfielder to be in the Premier League 100 club.
Ridiculous.
Only midfielders been in the Premier League 100.
5.
Not yet.
What?
I know who it is. I know.
I know who it
I
is.
don't know what it is.
5, 4.
4.
I'm going to say Alan, but
Frank Lampard.
No, Frank Lampard. Yeah.
oh my god,
But because what I didn't even get a chance.
Darn it.
that's so bad.
Gosh darn
Didn't
it.
even think that way.
Frank Lampard. So it leaves us to question 10.
Oh, this is
Could be a
massive.
three-way if I get it.
This is massive. It's your
Yep.
favourite, that, isn't it?
We're not used to them at our age.
2-2-1. Which manager has managed the most Premier League matches ever?
Alex Ferguson.
Moyes.
Sir, you're all wrong. All back in.
Got them!
What was
You
it?
then.
Most Premier League matches ever?
Arsene Wenger.
Most Premier League matches ever.
David Moyes.
I said
David
Moyes.
Moyes is third. Sir
said
Alex
Moyes.
Ferguson is second.
Wenger.
And Arsene Wenger is number
He's
1.
taken it! He's taken it!
Ben.
I think you should have gone to a tie-break there. We're all out wrong there.
He said, all back in. He
I know,
said,
but he
all
shouldn't
back
have
in.
done. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he shouldn't have done.
But you
Without-
jumped in with another answer, and then you got it wrong.
I
and then you.
never.
VAR, Watto, unfortunately, Jamie did state this week, mate. So
I'm sorry.
Suck
Watto.
it up.
I'm sorry, Ben.
Did you answer one, Watto?
I said Moyes, I think.
Bobby Charlton.
I said
Oh.
Moyes. Didn't I?
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
How many?
What do you mean you're sorry? What are you sorry for?
Wenger has managed 828 and Sir Alex 810. Oh. I think David Moyes is on like 628, but like he's still playing. So.
Because he managed the Premier League from 92. Wenger didn't come in until 98.
Well, it is what it is. Yeah, but he had a few weeks off, didn't he? A few years off.
Who?
I don't know. I don't care.
I just agreed.
A win is
It's
a win.
an amazing stat.
A win is a win. Thank you.
Well done.
That takes me to 9. Thank you. Wrexham documentary lads. Well done. You're my good luck charms today, by the way. Appreciate that. We will see you all next week. Thank you. That's the football filling. Good. Another win. That's 3 in a row, you know.